Rama asked, "How is it possible for an ignorant person born in a wicked family and who does not enjoy the company of holy ones to cross this ocean of samsara? Also, if one dies while yet in the first or the second or the third state of yoga, what happens to him?" Vasishta said, "After very many lives, the ignorant man is awakened by accidental coincidence. Till then he experiences the samsara." So here we have it. I was questioning what was said previously about this accidental coincidence being dependent on a pure life full of virtuous deeds. But it's not. We're being told here, after many lives, the ignorant man is awakened by accidental coincidence. It's not dependent on previous behaviour. It's something which either happens or it doesn't. Till then he experiences the samsara. When dispassion arises in his heart, then samsara recedes. Even an imperfect practice of this yoga destroys the effects of past sins. If one leaves the body during the practice, he ascends to heaven and is then born in circumstances favourable to the pursuit of his practice. Very soon he ascends the ladder of yoga again. We don't even have to see it in terms of dying. We often lose the plot. Spiritual practice is not a smooth, steady path. We can get utterly disillusioned with ourselves, demoralised. The effort might elude us, but we can always come back to it. It's never lost. These three states are known as waking state, because in them there is division in consciousness. So these three states, these are the seeking state, looking for material, looking for teachers. Then we've got enquiry, which is really spiritual practice, using these teachings and teachers as inspiration to look within or to look at our own attention. And then what happens is non-attachment arises, non-attachment to what other people regard as important, which are basically worldly pursuits. So these are described as the waking state, because there's still a division in consciousness. There's a moving away. It's like a gravitational pull, or the centre of gravity is changing from notions of the world and our role in the world to a sense of our own consciousness, realization of the nature of consciousness. And that centre of gravity shifts all the time. Spiritual practice is about bringing it back again and again to the nature of our own consciousness. However, the practitioner becomes an adorable person, an arya. Seeing him, the ignorant are inspired. He who engages himself in righteous actions and avoids evil is adorable, arya. Well, that's two different things. The one that's engaged in inquiry is not somebody who makes a point of engaging in righteous actions and avoiding evil. All they need to do is get on with their inquiry. This adorable holiness is in a seed state in the first state of yoga. It sprouts in the second and attains fruition in the third. Basically, we're talking about non-attachment. I think the whole thing about righteousness is a bit of a red herring. Perhaps there's righteousness there, but that's not what the big deal is. The big deal is the realization and the non-attachment. One who dies after thus having gained the status of an adorable one, an arya. Is it about gaining status? And who has obviously cultivated noble thoughts, enjoys the delights of heaven for a long time, and then he is born as a yogi. By the diligent practice of the first three states of yoga, ignorance is destroyed, and the light of wisdom arises in one's heart. That last sentence we can go along with. But we must be aware of the spiritual story that we're being fed here and keep to the practice. Vasishta continued. In the fourth state of yoga, the yogis behold the one and all with a mind that is free from division. Division has ceased and unity is steady and therefore they behold the world as if it were a dream. In the fifth state, only the undivided reality remains. Hence it is likened to deep sleep. He who has reached this state, though he is engaged in diverse external activities, rests in himself. The fourth state was described in chapter 120 as the snapping of the bonds of vasanas. The third then is non-attachment, spontaneous non-attachment. And the more this is pursued, then the more that our deep-rooted conditioning is weakened. So we're becoming more established in it, and the world takes on more and more the character of a dream. It has all the substance of a dream. And the fifth state is the bliss of pure awareness. I think there's a harmony, there's a feeling that everything has come together, all doubts have gone. After thus proceeding from one state to another, he reaches the sixth, which is the turiya. In this he realizes, I am neither real nor unreal, nor even egoless. I am beyond duality and unity. All doubts are at rest. He remains like a painting of a lamp. Hence, though he has not reached nirvana, lamp without fuel, he's like a lamp without fuel, as the lamp is only a painted figure. Well, if this isn't nirvana, I'm not sure what is. Nirvana means blown out, the idea being that we're like a flame which reignites moment to moment. He is void within, void without, void like an empty vessel. At the same time, he is full within and full without, like a vessel immersed in the sea. They who reach the seventh state are known as the disembodied liberated beings. Their state is not for words to describe, yet they have been described variously. So we've got a slightly different interpretation here. The seventh state is being described as disembodied liberation. Previously it's been described as beyond the turiya. And the whole point of this is that it's not describable. So I wouldn't describe it as disembodied liberation either. This distinction between embodied liberation and disembodied liberation is a doctrinal one which needn't concern us. There's obviously another doctrinal distinction being made in the sixth state between turiya and nirvana, but again, we don't need to worry about this sort of thing. The whole point is that we're becoming increasingly established in our unconditioned realization, the realization of unconditioned consciousness. This is all that's necessary. We don't need to worry about doctrinal distinctions.